Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Summertime Rendering. It has been a while. And when I say a while, I mean it's been like about, what, a month? I'm sorry. Apologies if any of you guys are like waiting for me to react to this. I apologize, but here we are. We are back. Last episode we kind of end with them looping back and we realize, oh shit, Heine has the ability to actually, go back in time and kind of mess with us as well, which is going to be a problem. We end the episode with Hizuru meeting Heine actually in the old abandoned Hichigata clinic in the past. I got some questions that I already talked about in the previous episode reactions discussion, so really there's nothing else for me to say other than the fact that I am really looking forward to it, and I am keen to see where all this became sour, like what happened between them, what happened between their relationship, right? Between Hizuru or Yunosuke and Heine. Should be fun. It should be fun. So anyways, let's get started with Summertime Rendering. It's been a while. It's been a while. I apologize. It's been a month since I've actually recorded some things. So yeah, I'm still trying to get back into the groove of things. Right then, let's jump right into Summertime Rendering Season 1. It's not really a Season 1, it's just one season. Episode 14. Back to the Hishigata clinic. Heine? Heine. Interesting. Like the way Heine is acting right now. Very different to the Heine that we know. Shide. Wait a minute. Why is that name so familiar? I'm looking at my notes. I don't think I've written any Shide, but why does it sound so familiar? Greed incarnate. Oh, okay. That's Shide. A play of Japanese words. Okay. But Shide is the big. Okay, we got a name. Acting really childish, very innocent like. Exactly. Something must have happened, that's for sure. Is this the first time that she... is that where it starts? The hunger. Interesting. Her own family. Actual comfort. Right. The feeling of actually being touched. Ooh. Hello, Nezu. Not the real one. Yeah. And it's the part where he dies. It's the perfect setup, the perfect scene, perfect lighting too. Now the question is, who killed him? Is it Shide or is it Heine? Fuck. It is Heine. Oh, it is. It is that day. You can't do anything, boy. Whoa! What in the... What in the path shit is this? Reverse back. Whoa. I mean, it doesn't explain why the eye came out, but... Of course. He's gonna copy Nezu. Nezu's gonna kill his shadow. And is that an indication that... Yup. Oh.
友達やから一回だけ見逃しちゃる。次に会うたら殺す。
Why did you leave me?
君戻ったの？
And Heine's back here too.
視点が遅なっとるの。
ループの視点が遅なってるんは新兵君の力が弱まってきてるからかもしれませんね。
ほなら奴の言う通り何遍も何遍もループさせちゃるやないか。限界を超えるまでな。
新兵君を殺して殺して殺し続ければやがてループできなくなり本当の死を迎えると。
Interesting.
先生、お腹空きませんか？これよかったら。
君は変わった男だ。こんな時でも料理をする。
Han.
今までの22日の夜はミオの影が小舟に来たが、おそらく今回はここに来る。影ミオはミオをほとんど無視している。オリジナルを殺すという影の本能よりも優先する上からの命令、つまりハイネの命令だ。
この刻印、ハイネには俺の居場所も。
Probably so.
それもこれからわかる。牛尾が記憶を追体験させれば、みんなが疑似的にループしたことになる。
Okay. Okay, gathering a team.
化け物なんて言うて、お姉ちゃんは必死に戦ってたのに。ああ、夏祭りの時な。ええねええねん。別に気にしてへんから。もう二度と会えやと思ってた。ミオ、そんな泣かんでええがな。
ミオ、お前を連れてきたんはお前の安全のためで。
しんちゃん、やられてばっかりは嫌。
I appreciate it, but I have a feeling we're gonna die.
手ないな、アラン。
Yeah, I was about to say.
もう帰ってる時間なのに。
Whoa. Whoa. That's new.
新兵しかおらんやろが。新兵の力がなかったら、みんなこうやって集まってへんのやから。
The fact that Tokiko's here.
その、
Yeah, why is Tokiko here? Unless they told her, you know, like, hey, in the future you're gonna get betrayed and you're gonna die, which, okay, If that is the case, then maybe that's why Tokiko is here.
さあ、どっからどうやって現れる？
It's just a snake.
蛇か。
Fuck.
新平はこの島が好きや。みんなのことも大好きや。確かに言い方はいつも悪いよ。
His wording is terrible, the speech may be bad, but, you know, he has the spirit.
みおちゃん、俺もや新平。
Yeah. Yeah.
皆さんご存知なんですか？影がどれくらいの数この島におるんか。現状勝ち目はありませんよ。ハイネがループしてるんやったらなおさらです。新平さんがやろうとしてるんは集団自殺ですよ。
The dubbing and the lip sync was really out of sync.
俺はやるときややろうとこや。
Okay.
ありがとう、みんな。
What the fuck? That was a good cut.
ループした。
No, I don't think so, buddy.
俺
I don't think so. Okay. He did die. Giving him the memories.
しんちゃん、新平を撃ち抜いた弾は影やない。本物のライフルの弾。
Yeah.
さんと距離を置いたのが。
Love the lighting of the scene so far.
くそ。俺を直接狙ってくるとばかり。
Shit. He's gonna get shot again, isn't he?
あいつも俺と一緒にループしてるから。見えるんや。限界が近づいてる。時間の端っこが。
So that's the representation of it.
このまま同じ時間に殺されたら、俺は多分。
Probably die for real.
あと1回しかループ。
Yeah. And this is what it is in the opening, okay.
そこから時間が進んで、俺が一定の速さで前へ歩いてるイメージです。
Right, right.
7時20分。限界も前に進んでます。
Yeah.
もし今新平が死ねば次の8周目の視点は
We don't know.
今の感じやとおそらく俺が足踏みしてる間に限界の方が先に行く。俺は真っ暗な崖の下へ落ちる。
True death.
データはループを持ち越せるんやったな。奴らにわしのライフルをコピーされとる可能性は。もしコピーされとったら、ここは危険やぞ。
Like, why do you have the lights on? That just attracts. Okay.
だいたい半径50メートルほどの中でしかコピー品は存在できやん。
つまり、長距離射程のライフルをコピーしても、50メートルしか弾は飛ばんと。
I did not notice. Whoa, going out into the open. Holy shit, that's a lot. That's a lot.
ずいぶん大勢でお出ましやなしで。
君こそ随分お仲間が増えたみたいですね、新平君。
罠か？
一緒にすんな。お前らみたいな卑怯な真似はせん。お互い小細工はやめて、正々堂々と戦おうら。
はい。
He's gonna let Mio's shadow fight him.
しんちゃん、かっこよすぎ。
Clever.
俺の命だ。俺が餌になる。
しんちゃんをどこに連れてく？
あの死でとかいう影、やはり弱点がない。
It's worth a shot, Nezu. No pun intended.
ちょっと失礼します。
Whoa, what was that? What was that circle thing? Yeah, what is that? Run.
こ こで喋っても君には聞こえないだろうが、大事なことを伝え忘れていたよ、龍之介。
And what is that?
ありがとう。
Well,
私の
俺が倒してる。
ooh, just way too fast. Oh, surprising, Tokiko's.
ギルデンスター、暴れなさい。爆弾みたいに静かにね。
Wait, so why is the baby shadow following Tokiko and not the mother? Cool animation cut. Really? Whoa! Whoa! Wow! Her best friend. Shit. She needs to sacrifice herself. Yeah.
見えてんのか。2秒先にいる僕の動きが。
Is he? Yeah. Oh, the circle thing is just a shield. Okay.
大丈夫か、シデ。
Ooh, interesting. This dynamic between these two.
トキコか。止まれ。お前の主はもうトキコではない。
There we go.
トキコを殺せ。
Is this gonna obey her? Wow. Who's the real mother, huh?
わしとのつながりが切れとる。こんな真似ができんのは。
Great shot. And that's why they are with Tokiko. I like how I question something and then the show just answers it. That's rare nowadays. Usually I don't get an answer at all. Whoa! Whoa! That was fun. That was a fun sequence. This is also a fun sequence. Yeah, that's your best friend, alright.
けど残念。
Ah, so many good cuts. That was smart of her. Puts the light. It's on fire. Holy shit. Oh my god. But Jinpei and Ushio needs to, you know, get out of there as well. Like, right now. It's split off?
ごめんよ、パパ、ママ、熱いよね。あいつを殺せば戻るから。
Love their constant uses of the of a CG environment. Makes for some really fun camera shots. So how is this gonna play out?
捕まえたで。お前は消せ。
This is going way too smooth. Oh.
やめて。消さんとって。はいね。ないとも許さんぞ。
Hmm.
だから。
Actual tears. That is bad, that is bad, that is bad. No, this is a problem. What the f-
悪いけど私は興味ないわ。死ぬつもりらないから。
素早いですね。入れ替わったのに気づきませんでしたよ。私が掴んで出たのは毛の束にプリントした。
Oh, the plays. I got fooled.
人の手。炎が消えた。
Muffled audio. Oh, this is new. What the f- And she's gone? With Shide as well?
逃げられた。
死で平気か。
Okay, okay.
こねれば戻りますから。
腹が減った。この血は立体にガラスが当たっただけ。
Man, she lost so much hair.
ペンのが重傷。
防弾
Oh. Man, how many times is this show gonna fool me?
さらに牛尾のハッキングで死での体内に誰かが入っていることが偶発的に判明。
That's a mystery that we need to figure out.
ハイネが体育館の空気をスキャンして消去。
Ah, that's what happened. Heine can just copy air? Like,
気体も液体もコピーできるんよ。
oh, you can?
みんな生きてる。
For once, everybody survives.
ハイネとのつながり、そのリンク切ったらほんまに安全なんやな。
ええんやな、ミオ。うん。やって、お姉ちゃん。
What did they? Oh.
私の影を仲間に。
Okay. Where do we begin? As always, these two episodes I think are really good. I'll talk briefly about episode 14 and then I'm gonna go slightly deeper into episode 15. Episode 14 was pretty solid. We kind of explored more about Hizuru or Ryunosuke's relationship with Heine, and the thing about the first episode that really caught my attention, sorry, not the first episode, but yeah, the first episode of the video, episode 14. The thing that caught my attention most is how different Heine acts in the past as opposed to the Heine that we know now in the present. Heine in the past, at least when she first met Hizuru, she was really childish. She was actually acting, you know, her physical age, right, as a child. Somebody who is longing for a friend or just some company in general, right? And then things turn out sour. And looking at the episode right now, as I'm looking at the screen, right, I'm seeing Hizuru and Heine just hugging, Hizuru touching Heine's shadow, because, you know, through that Heine can actually experience like physical contact with Hizuru and all that stuff. It's really, really sweet, and it kind of pains to see how things went for the both of them. To me, I think the main reason, I don't think the show itself actually explains it in like perfect detail, but from the way everything is, I would say Heine changed because of Hizuru, and specifically during the scene when basically Hizuru got a cut. Heine looked at the blood, she licked the blood, and she probably got addicted. Either she got addicted or she remembers how delicious blood is. Because Heine, to me, so far, hasn't really been drinking or eating blood in any way, shape, or form. In fact, she was eating snacks, and then she then starts to say, "I'm hungry." And that is exactly what Heine did. She found something else. She was eating some meat, some dead animals, obviously. It is very unfortunate that Ryunosuke just happens to be there. Heine looks at him, and being the monster that she is, kills him. And when Hizuru comes in, Haine notices this and then she snaps back, right? She snaps back, went from this really, really terrifying look. Then boom. Back to normal. It's also later in this scene that I was kinda got what I was looking for, but also not really, and that is how the fuck did Ryunosuke and Hizuru became as one, right? The explanation in this episode was basically, let me see if I can find it. I think it was Ushio was the one who mentions this. And this is what Ushio says. Ryunosuke's data bounced off of Haine and entered Hizuru. The question is why? Like, okay. But why? Why did it bounce off? Questions that I'll probably don't get answers to. But it is still a solid question, right? Why did Haine suddenly pop her eye, right? What's the deal? Why is that the case? What happened? What triggered that? Is it simply because Haine realizes what she is doing is wrong? Is it because of something else? Is it actually Shide doing it? I don't know. All I know is her eye pops up. It's Hizuru, and through that, I would assume that's when the data bounced off of Haine and entered Hizuru, and then Hizuru gets Ryunosuke's like own memories and thought, and then also gaining the ability of a shadow, more or less. But it still doesn't answer the question of why the eye actually pop up in the first place, you know what I mean? Don't answer that question if there is an actual answer, but I'm fine with it, I'm cool with it. The show doesn't really need to explain everything, but at the same time, it's like, okay, but I guess we're just gonna have to move on, I guess. Some of my theories about how that happened, I remember back in like I think it was like the first 2-3 episodes, maybe episode 5 when Haine was actually introduced. I was theorizing that maybe it is because Ushio stole the eye from her and then gave it to Shinpei. But obviously that is not the case because the eye kind of came out itself and then goes away. And we don't know what happened to the eye after that. But moving on. That was bad. That lip sync was pretty bad. I'm sorry. That's my only major problem with this episode, by the way. Everything else I find perfectly fine. Yes, there's some like drawbacks here and there that I'm pretty sure the animators and the creators and the staff of the show have, they have to do it because, maybe they're on a tight schedule, which is perfectly fine because, 14 episodes into an anime like this, pretty normal stuff. And considering what happens in the next episode, I can pretty much guess why that is the case, right? But here, I don't know, it's just, it's rare to find an anime with an out of sync like scene like this, especially like today in this era. Like maybe a few milliseconds here and there, the lip flaps may not actually sync, but here it's just the lip flaps are still going, even though there's no audio. So it's really jarring, and that's really the only major complaint that I have with this episode. Other than that, it's a very fun episode. Alright, now then, episode 15. Okay, so episode 15 I find to be probably one of the better episodes of the entire show. Just hands down. It is up there with what episode was it? Was it 12? The final episode of the first core, basically, before the new core starts, right? This episode, to me, most of it was really well done, especially during the second half of this episode where all of the action comes in. I find the action direction, some of the shots, their use of a CG environment to create some really well made dynamic shots, really, really good. Like they are utilizing their tools to its fullest, and I really appreciate that. The first half of this episode which is what I am looking at on the screen right now, basically is just an exposition dump, right? These are all information that we kind of already know, right? With the whole how the timeline and the time loop works and stuff. This is just Shinpei basically explaining it to everybody else in the scene, because obviously they don't know, but we as an audience do know. So it kind of panders time, but at the same time I get why that is the case. But I also don't mind it because it also leads to like some really unique visuals, and I'm fine with that. Probably the best part of the episode, again, is the action. A lot of the animation cuts are really sweet. They're really fun. This particular cut was really sweet. Let me see if I can put it up. This part was really fun. Like, really fun. The way the camera moves, the way the character moves towards the camera. And here, especially, when it is clear that this is a CG environment, right? But the characters are 2D and the camera is just like going around and around. Sometimes an inexperienced cinematographer would turn this into a very messy scene and almost nauseating. But this is not that. This is actually it's really well made. He swoops around, shoots the shadow. We zoom in, we see it almost hitting her. She flips back. We still see Ushio and Shinpei running in the back. Oh, it's such a good scene. Reminds me a lot of a scene from Kill la Kill episode 3. There's a similar scene also in a school hallway of the sorts where the camera is just like going in all over the place, swooping in around. It reminds me of that, and I think this is also, this is a really well made shot. And it's not just this shot, there's plenty of shots in this entire episode as well. Like this shot, for example. Holy shit. Like, this is a fun sequence. That was a fun sequence. So many good shots in this episode as well. I really appreciate that. And I'd say the last 7-8 minutes of this entire episode, which is when they are in the gymnasium, and when the fire starts and everything, that is when a lot of, are they not situations are happening. Is Ushio actually gonna die? Is Shinpei actually gonna have to restart? All of these questions are being thrown into the audience because of what we are seeing. The show does a really good job at fooling the audience. Like, I thought Ushio was actually burning. Nope. That was just a hair. She was actually the necklace. And I should have noticed this, and I should have realized this, because we've kind of hinted at that multiple times already in the past, that yeah, Ushio can just turn into the necklace. And when they were showing the necklace, I was like, wait a minute, Ushio coming back and then just punching Shide was really sweet as well. And then there's also the fact that, Shinpei was getting shot, right? Shinpei was getting shot. I thought, because Shinpei was shot multiple times in the chest, I was like, well, shit, he cannot recover from this. He needs to reset, obviously, right? No. He was actually wearing a bulletproof vest. Like, I got fooled. Bravo. Well done. But yeah, this entire episode was really great. I love the action. I love the animation as well. The use of a CG environment, like I mentioned. As far as plot development goes, this is definitely moving us towards a better conclusion, I would say, because before this, it's all constant defeat, right? We plan something, we execute that plan, and then the plan fails because Heine always has the upper hand in one way or another, right? And then it will always lead to Shinpei dying. And I guess we kind of got that in episode 14, right? Hey, let's just regroup in this place, and then Shinpei got shot, and then we just resets everything. But that leads to episode 15, where Shinpei learns from this mistake, kind of goes all out, and actually won. So now the question is, What's gonna happen next? What future are we going to witness? Because so far, we are on a trajectory of positive notes, right? I don't know what word I was trying to go for there. I'm sorry. But they won. Shadow Mio was actually caught, and that is basically where we end the episode, and that is probably where the next episode is gonna focus on, right? The idea of actually changing the not the personality, but the allegiance of a shadow, right? From somebody who takes orders from the mother to somebody or something that takes orders from something else, or maybe not actually taking orders. Maybe it'll actually become more. Maybe it'll actually get its own individuality, which is something that could potentially be the case. Because when it comes to like the baby shadows, what are they called? Like the strays. Like they don't really have a mind of their own. They just, you know, they kind of obey Tokiko. But when it comes to Shadow Mio, right? That's a full-on shadow with its own mind and thoughts, right? So I don't know. Maybe they're actually going to succeed in this, or maybe this will completely backfire. I don't know. Either way, I'm really excited for the next episode. I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do with it. And that's pretty much it for this episode of Summertime Rendering. Well then, thank you all so much for joining in. I will see you all, I guess, next week for episode 16 and possibly 17. So if you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, as always. And I will see you all next time for the next episode. Take care, everyone.